Hey guys, so this week you would do Lab 4, Aquatic Eukaryotic Microbes, which includes protists and rotifers. In this lab, what you would typically have done is you would all gather your microscopes, so like one per each group, kind of like what we did with fungi when you guys looked underneath the microscope with the little slide. However, this time around, you guys would be creating your own slides, so they aren't pre-made. And how you do this is that we have ordered different samples throughout from ponds, some lake water and some pond water, and it comes in these little containers. And you would grab a little like pipette, a little droplet, right? And you would go to the container of your choice, let's say like a pond or a lake, right? And you would grab just a few drops, and then place just one drop, like maybe two drops, onto a microscope slide right in the center of it. And you'd place the drop there, and then you would put a cover slip on top, very, very gently. If you were to put the cover slip and squish it down or hold it in place, you would squish the microbes underneath there and then kill them, right? So yeah, you would just place the on top, and it creates this little sandwich of microscope slide, your sample, and then a cover slip gently on top. And then you would take this and place it underneath your microscope, underneath the objective lenses, right? You would choose the lens that you would want, so either 10x, 20x, 40x, depending on what detail you want to see. And then you would focus it using the knobs on the side. Remember, the large knob is like a coarse kind of focus, right? A very like kind of getting the picture, and then the smaller knob is that very fine, minute movements to get that focus. So very fine movements in order to get it very detailed, right? Nice and focused. And then once you had it underneath the microscope, you would go ahead and like draw it out and describe what it's doing. And these microorganisms are live, and you would see that there are single-celled organisms that are crazy active, right? They swim around and stuff. And if I mention that, I don't want you guys to miss out on what you actually see, because I think this is a lab that a lot of students like. They look underneath the microscope and they see all the little squirmies doing their thing, right? It's pretty fun. So I went ahead and linked already another video to show you what they look like underneath the microscope, and I called it like helpful link or something like that. So make sure you go ahead and look at that, because that's what you would have seen inside the lab. Maybe not so many organisms and maybe not so much movement. I think he even put a time lapse on it, so it goes pretty quicker than you actually see in real life. But pay attention to like their little organelles and how they move, and you can really see that these are pretty complex organisms despite them being, you know, some of the smallest of the worlds, right? They are eukaryotic, so same as you and I, right? We're eukaryotic organisms. And so what you would do in lab is you would look at underneath the slide, you would draw out what you saw and write down the observations, and that would be your in-class assignment. And then for your homework, you would go home and further look up which organisms you saw, and then write up like what more detail about them, like a little summary about them, like are they predators, are they herbivores, are, well, you know, all their different kind of behaviors that they might exhibit, and you just tell me a little, kind of like a little report about them, right? So for your guys' assignments this week, we're just going to wrap it up all into one homework / in-class assignment. You can do it individually or as a group, but remember, you cannot work in a group in person, right? You guys got to Skype or Zoom or whatever in order to get the homework done, which is fine by me, but you cannot meet in person, right? I cannot allow for that, and I need to stress that, right? And so what you'll do for this assignment is go ahead and watch the helpful link video and choose one of the organisms on there. They are listed in the video, what they are named. And give me a little summary about them. You don't have to draw them out and give me detail, but I guess part 1 would be describe what you see about them. You know, are they long? Are they circular? Are they moving a lot? Do they move slow? Do they move fast? Things like that. All your observations about them. And then 2, give me a little bit of summary about the organism you chose. Look further online and tell me, you know, what's their what's their taxonomy, you know, where do they belong to in a evolutional aspect. Tell me, you know, are they predator, are they prey, what eats them, what do they eat, kind of deal. And let's tie it back to kind of like the plant lab, right? How are they surviving in their harsh environment? You know, they're very small. How are they surviving in their aquatic environment? So tell me a little bit about that. And you can really make like a good one-page summary about the organism you choose based off the helpful link video, right? If you have any questions at all, don't be afraid to email me. And I'll see you guys next week. Next week we do start a Mandukan project, so get ready for that. It's a pretty fun one. And I hope these videos are going good, and I hope that y'all are staying safe, and don't be afraid to email me. Goodbye.